Yes, guys, next episode of Bikini Insider. I've got a new background. We got Kerry Sexton. We got Marnie, who is just before this. She's saying she's close to burnout. Is it, I was going to say, is it football related? But go on. What's happening?
No, it's not fit model related.
Is this it? Is this the moment? Here
You
comes the
always
announcement.
find my forehead vein is out as well. You always
Oh,
find a way to somehow tie it into the fit model storyline, don't you? But no,
burning
not
out. She's thinking about it too much. And carry on.
Hey, I saved it for the
uh,
start. Usually it's towards the end. But let's just get out of the way straight away.
straight in. No, not burnt out in a bad way, but it's just such a busy time of the season. I mean, I've got five girls in posing tomorrow. Yeah, I can't complain. Obviously, I'm in a really good position, but you know how it is. You kind of like take on everybody's nerves before show day, and people are asking questions, and it's
It's
just
a big
busy.
weekend. It's a
I've got
big weekend.
four people up this weekend. So yeah, that's been, and then they're all doing the 19th as well. So I'm like, bang, bang, bang. Wake up
Yeah.
in the morning, I'm like, let's do this. But yeah, it's really good. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to mention this because I actually think it's wild. One of my girls, yeah, we started peaking her. I don't know, I might have said this even on the last one.
Yeah,
Started
you
peaking
did.
her from like 2 weeks out. She's on like 5,300 calories now. We're eating like
Ah,
flour cookies every single day. Just trying to get rid
Last
of like
time,
all the lines
last
we
time
have.
you
Poor
said
girl
it
just
was
eating, watching
four.
this now. Just
Yeah. We've gone up to like
And you said
we're on
2,000.
sorry, but 200 grams of fat,
Wow.
650 grams of carbs.
Last week you said 4,000, Kerry, so
Yeah,
you've
so we're
multiplied.
up. Today I was like, we're going up again, man. She's
which
gonna
what
send
category?
her third check-in. Huh?
What category is it again? Sorry.
Bikini.
Is it what is she first timer, novice, seasoned?
No, she's how many shows has she done? I think this is her second season. But yeah, last time like the issue, so to speak, was her waistline blowing out because they left it like not with me, but another coach left it quite late before obviously, and now you can see how much food she needs. So imagine just 2 days of that. That ain't gonna cut it because it's not. Um and yeah, so like the plan has been just to really she's 10 pounds up, but you can't see it. She's still got like some striations a little bit in places, and I'm like, right. So I've just had to like just fully just, and as a coach, it's been really fun. I've not had a client like this ever. So I've just like had to fully just kind of like go in. I've got a plan of how we're gonna come back down. We're measuring our waist like daily and doing 3 check-ins a day and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's been really, really fun to be honest. And she's all right. She can just see how excited and calm I've been with it. And I think that's why she feels like just fine with it. It's been like a bit hard, but she told me I increased her food last night in her last meal. I was like, right, I just need you to like, I'll put in an extra cookie in because obviously it's like lower volume kind of vibes. And she was like, oh, great, because I was getting a bit hungry. And I was like, ha ha ha, wait, are you joking? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh, she's
Oh my
tall,
God,
but like, geez, yeah, yeah. It's
crazy.
cool. It's cool to be fair. And then everyone else is on just like your standard 1900.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
looking forward to that. That should be a good weekend. Big show this weekend. I think there's over
yeah,
300-ish competitors, I want to say.
waiting.
Yeah. Sick. It's going to be a good day.
that's a big one there. And of course, you've got the Portugal show as well, where
Yes, we do.
we have six UK pros over there. Only one female, just Kirsty. But look, mine's about burnout. I've got my own burnout because we got a different background. The reason is I've left London, I've moved out of London, I've moved to Market Harborough. This is my temporary stop for the next 12 months until the actual house gets built finally. And so yeah, you can tell you see my Mrs. Pelton bike still all bubble wrapped.
Yeah,
And there's a
congratulations.
Yeah, that's epic.
yeah.
We're
So
not
yeah,
far away now.
yeah, that's it. I know. You're only about 20 minutes away, but I'm gonna try and solve this. This is a study, gonna try and get this all sorted, but like I said, only a temporary stop. Anyway, less about this crap background compared to Kerry's Romania belt and picture of the Olympic qualification ticket and
We're not long
Marnie.
now.
Well, Marnie's still got the same as me. In fact, I've got a little bit more weight.
Picture of me and Arnold are
There
still.
she is.
Away.
I'll tell you what, look, our guest is waiting, but
Okay.
I want to get this out straight away. I've mentioned this before. Give me your opinion, girls. I got a few messages the other day on DM, and I'm very wary on the BTS page where I don't want everything to always be male dominated. It has to break up because it's male and females. We cover all categories. I had a message saying, "Oh, yo, why is it always about the male pros? Why do you not ever look at the the female side?" And I respond like, "Yeah, no, I get that, and I'm going to explain the reason why." This is my little rant, and the main division on the men's side, I think we all agree, is like the open. That's the big one. On the female side, what would you say is the main category on the female side of bodybuilding?
Bikini.
Yeah, bikini.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. The reason why I'm able to get a lot of content out on the men's side is the same thing I've mentioned before, is
Mm.
because these guys who are getting ready for Olympia are documenting their journey to the stage on YouTube. Weekly episodes every single week. So I know, look, I'm saying it in the most positive way. We got Laura Lee, like the reigning champion. Like we got Ashley Colwasso, we got Jazz, we got Vanya, the Arnold champion. We got Ashley and Ariana, Amy, all these top girls, which I like to think that the bikini divisions are arguably the most busiest on the amateur pro stage. Look, Indy Pro had 35 girls in that bikini lineup, which was the biggest one so far this season. So why is there still like all these girls got sponsors? I imagine the sponsor would pay for like a videographer to do a weekly Road to Olympia series 15 weeks out because God knows I would love to see what they're doing
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Get ready for the biggest competition, the most competitive bikini lineup to date, especially if all the previous Olympic champions are returning. So I mean, why is still a lack of content from the top girls? In fact, not the top girls. Kerry, I'm looking at you as well. Like,
Just
I
put a
want to see
video
Kerry's
out.
journey
I'm doing YouTube's there's one that drops every 2 weeks.
every 2 weeks. Okay, yes, I knew it.
I was
I'm,
sat here like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm going for everyone. I'm doing it the right way because, like I said, I want to be able to like sh
You know what though?
showcase all that
I'm
because
really
You
trying my
say
best to document here.
when
Just
you say when you
you've got
say
you've got Trade by JP channel as well, so you've got double.
yeah,
You got
you
YouTube
know,
content and the JP portal,
everything goes on there with
yeah,
regards to everything. What I'm doing,
which is
what I'm
different because yeah,
eating, what I'm
that's
taking, everything goes on there. It's unfiltered.
when you talk about like the open pros and whatever, I honestly I feel like it does come down to the sponsorship thing. They're all linked. Like really, when you think of the top girls, in terms of like the big sponsors, like I'm just like thinking in my head when you were reeling off everybody's names, sponsors that are probably like paying salaries to the girls, like could think of a few, maybe like Dark Sport, obviously trained by JP, but like not every like all the girls that you've listed there, like maybe they're not in that position and maybe that's why. Because
So
for me, I know that that is an expense that like I
100%.
would always try and vlog it myself, like in terms of my show days and stuff. We've spoke about this already. I was terrible at like doing it throughout a prep, but even at that level, I think in bikini and on the female side, like if that was the barrier and it was more so like the costs of running a channel and getting the edits done and getting the videographer and stuff like that, I feel like that is the barrier, don't you?
So yeah, I agree, but I do know, like I have a friend who's a busy online coach. She's an amateur athlete. Fiona, you know her. So she has
Yes.
started dropping weekly. She's an amateur. She works really hard on her content, like across social. She's busy. I know what her like work-life balance, everything. I know what it's like. Trains like me, does everything like similar. She's coached by Meg. She is dropping weekly vlogs. Now, I still go back to like some of it being like how do I put this? Making it a priority and like doing it and finding the time instead of saying like I don't have the time. And I do think it comes to that. And I know it comes to that because like I know like I could be doing my own vlogs. I could be doing my own vlogs. I could do my YouTube like one with someone every like and doing it every other if that makes sense. So I'm actually doing that next week. So yeah, hopefully we'll be having them out every week now from here. But I don't know. I think yes, money definitely a thing. But also like it could be time. Not everyone has the same time. Some people do work like I don't want to say actual jobs because I work around the clock and I would say it's an actual job, like you as well,
Yeah,
Marnie.
yeah, I know what you
But
mean.
you see where I'm going? Like some people are like employed and like
Yeah.
can't actually do run their
I
day
think
as we
I
do.
think it's a mixture of things. I think
So I think
people
it's time
it,
and money, if I'm
it's
honest.
the return on investment is probably not there.
Tom, I just want to jump in here. I think there is a massive opportunity where, like, when you're qualified for Olympia and you have Olympia coming up, and you want to be able to look back as well at this
100%.
this this,
Yeah,
this
there's no better feeling.
2025 diary, 2020.
Yeah.
You did the same as
Yeah,
well, Marnie. You mentioned that previously, and Kerry, you're going to look back when you retire at these series that you've
100%.
done.
Yeah.
I would love to watch yours, especially when Mark qualifies to Olympia, and then you go like 6 weeks out, and you two are training together, lead up to it. There is an opportunity where I think there needs to be these Road to Olympia series. On a business perspective, I'm sure a lot of these are coaches as well, online coaches or both
Yeah.
trainers or posing coaches. This is where you can obviously monetize that, or on a sponsor perspective.
Agree.
If you want to
I
get big sponsors, another channel where you are. And anyway, you're at a gym anyway, so you're not doing something that's going to put you in a different environment. Of course, yes, a videographer,
Yeah.
maybe check with your sponsor, maybe even check with somebody who's just starting out in on a videography as a videographer in your local area. Be like when Jeremy Buendia brought his other kid, this 18-year-old kid, to his be a videographer. Now he's got like a full-time position. But I
Yeah.
remember like yeah, there's a lot of great stories videographers who's just started out for free
Yeah.
because they wanted that in with that Olympian. And look, there is no doubt there is a very lack of content on this Road to Olympia for bikini competitors and also female competitors. And there's also, I like to think, a massive need to actually want to see this as well, not just from females, but also male competitors. But you can be inspired, whether it's a male or female, whatever division, especially when you can resonate to their story or whatever, the build up, pulling back the curtains and seeing something they don't see on Instagram. You're seeing their journey to the stage. And I'm sure people are getting that when they watch Kerry, and they get that from Marnie from when she previously did her vlogs, and she'll start again next year when she goes back when she starts in Fit Model. That's gonna be a great series. So yeah, that's my side.
I agree. I do like I agree with you. There is like a gap in content and stuff like that. That's why that first time we had this conversation, I have
Mm.
actually locked in ever since and done it every 2 weeks since then. And now I'm trying to take that next step by saying I'm going to do my own vlogs. So,
There's not even a better time because you're the only
oh,
UK competitor
100%.
to Olympia.
Yeah.
So I would like
And
to think.
yeah, 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 I just think it's a good thing, but it is time consuming. Some people don't have, that like great like editing skills. It takes a while to like learn things. Some people can literally edit like that. Some people
Yeah,
it takes hours and it's hard. And like, I don't know, for me, sometimes like, it depends where I'm at in my cycle, whatever. But like I get really overwhelmed with even like, so like I caught up with about 100 DMs just from like the past 9 days, like yesterday. But the reason why I didn't get back to them then was because I was overwhelmed from my PMDD, so everything takes me much longer at that time. So I feel like sometimes the overwhelm of doing the thing is quite a lot and can take over as well, I think, especially when you've got to prioritize your job and also probably sponsors maybe don't pay out as much as what males get in the first
that's
place. So therefore you
that's
cannot
pretty.
afford to have a videographer.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Like, just when you were talking there, like, for example, when you were saying about us kind of working as coaches, and that is also a very, very consuming job. There's many athletes that stop competing because they actually
Yeah,
kind of
can't.
fully focus on the coaching route, and it's so time consuming, but also it requires a lot of energy, like mental energy, because you're dealing with people 24/7. And I feel like I don't want to generalize here, but I think again, a lot of the top open pros, for example, they may be just an athlete full time because their source of income doesn't need to rely on something like coaching, where they're actually getting that consistent salary from a brand. And so maybe they have more time in their day where like they can go and film and they can spend a bit more time at the gym explaining things or whatever. Whereas like, yeah, that's a priority to us, but also so is like XYZ, like all the other things that are going on as well. So I think it's a mixture of like circumstantial priorities, money, because like really YouTube is a full-time job. Like there are creators that do that as a full-time gig. So I don't think it's that people don't want to document their journey because who wouldn't want to look back on it in years to come? Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah. Well, obviously, we mentioned about open, obviously, with all the categories. I guess before we just round this up, I think an easy way to start, and here's my little recommendation. If you've seen Nick Walker's videos, he does his whole car talk, where all he is, it's
yeah,
just literally raw. Like Sam Sulek, he has no videography, he does himself, but
Yeah.
it's just raw. It's just talking to the camera, like update. And I've seen the views, so it's very inspiring. There is a message behind each one. So that's a great way to start. But I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, look,
Agree.
here's why we're really here, because on the weekend, we were talking about Ally last week. Like, is she
Yeah.
doing? I must have missed her on the list. I must have missed her because anybody who knew was watching the Indy Pro will all know about the end result here. Because here is our guest. Let's bring her in because she is back at the big time. She is back in Las Vegas, back at the Olympia 2025. She is your Indy Pro Bikini champion, the largest bikini category of the year so far, 35. Ali, hope that introduction did you justice.
I think it did. Yeah. No, that was super cool. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
yeah, we can. Hey, how are you?
Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you guys. Holy crap, I love this. I'm like so excited to be a part of this and just to
Oh,
see you guys. This is awesome. So thank you for having me.
no worries at all. We've been talking about you the previous week. I don't know if you watched that episode at all as well.
Yeah, I
It
sat
was very,
here. I said, don't sleep on Ally because she's an underdog.
yeah,
Uh,
100%.
thank you. Oh, thank you. No, I'm gonna have to go back and watch because like that, gosh, I feel like I have so many things to catch up on. So I'm going to have to go back.
I think the perfect place. Look, let's just look back at Indy Pro because, of course, the weekend before that, you came second behind the GOAT, Ashley Cole, and then, of course, you went into Indy Pro. Only a small matter of 34 other bikini pros to
Right.
compete against, and wow, what a show! What a
Seriously.
performance. Because of course we did see that final call out. It was yourself and three others, including Alice, who took second place behind yourself. So there's a lot, all the girls there has got Olympia experience. I think was it third place? Is it Tara? She'd already Olympia qualified as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, incredible lineup. But I guess my first question is, you came second behind Ashley. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming you were confident going into Indy Pro, knowing that you could be there or thereabouts to try and push for your Olympia stamp for 2025.
Yeah, I mean that was it was incredible just kind of having that experience. And I think, a lot of people are like, oh, I wish you would have like I don't know. They said a lot about that show. Like it would have been really cool to have you go first in front of Ashley. And it was like, honestly, just to be next to her, that's an incredible achievement. Like there's nothing short of like amazing. The feeling that I had even just being next to her, I was like, wow, this is incredible. So no matter what happens, I already feel like I've won there. And then, coming to Indy, it was just kind of riding that momentum going into it and like just, not really knowing what was happening even at Indy. Like it was kind of weird how they did the call out. So it was like, I wasn't really sure where it was happening. So it was, oh my gosh, just incredible feelings all around. Like I really have no way to explain that. It was awesome.
I think you were the standout though. Like presentation is just impeccable. I was watching your video of your posing routine and in fact I watched like a recap video from the show just recently. And somebody mentioned about how obviously your surname begins with a V and so you are usually one of the last girls to come on stage, but you always bring it because usually like everyone's come out at that point and you're like one of the last, but it's like you came out there and I've got no doubt that everybody just was like, whoa, as soon as you
Oh,
entered. So
yeah. It always is funny too because yeah, I always like see the lineup, like the competitor lineups, and I'm always like I think second to last or even like third to last or I'm some places I think I've been last. So it is definitely like one of those moments where, you know, it could be really awesome being last or it could be really not great being last. But I think I try to take it on the other side of saying like, no, this is awesome. I'm going to save it and I'm going to like bring it out, like bring that energy and just bring myself and like be unapologetically me on stage. And you know, I feel like that's what I really did there. So yeah, I'm happy that it came across, you know, it shows. Thank
It really did. It was literally very good. You need to get it
you.
so oh yeah, get the video up.
I'm doing it.
We
I'm
need
getting it.
it.
I'm doing it. That's right. Wait there. Keep talking while I bring up the videos because there was plenty epic pictures and videos from the show. But I guess the best place to start is let's bring up the eye walk because you mentioned about bringing the energy. Where is it? Where is it? Here we
the
go.
color on you as well.
Can you see this?
Yes.
There we are.
Look at that.
So I just want to ask Ali, you mentioned about like the one you said the one thing you want to do is be unapologetically you, you know, to bring
Yeah.
that energy, which I guess can be very difficult for whether you know any pros or amateurs to do that when they step on stage in front in a huge stage in front of a huge audience. So how do you go by that? Because it's very easy to say that, but what do you do on stage to actually bring that?
I love this question. You know, it's funny because it's funny that you asked this because my husband actually just said, you're just in person. You're not like this. You're not this on stage like that you are in person. So what do you do? And I'm like, I don't know. It's like an alter ego. I tell people that like when you're going on stage, like that's your moment to just show people who you are because they don't know who you are, right? Like show them who you are, bring that energy out and just bring out this like this internal thing out and just show it. And I know that sounds even weird, like it's harder for me to say it exactly what I mean, but it's just that like this Ally is inside of me somewhere and it's my moment when I get on stage that like to just be someone who I don't normally get to be in person. So it's really cool to like bring this out and it's almost like an alter ego, but at some point, you know, this is you, like this is inside of you somewhere. You just have to let it like come out and just let it shine.
Unleash it. Yes.
I completely agree with you. I actually completely agree with you. It's like I feel like even when like you practice your routine, then
Yeah.
you know that ain't it. There's still more. Like you, no matter how much you zone in on that pose and you get that pose in
Yeah.
like good, you know that on stage
Yes.
is just different. It's just
I,
different. So it is
I
something.
think that's also like I draw so much energy from the crowds too. I mean, even at like my first Olympia, it was crazy actually walking out on that stage. It was kind of like a shock because that you don't understand the sheer amount of people that are in that crowd at the Olympia, like the prejudging area. It's like, oh my God. But I drew so much energy from that that it's almost like I carry that even when I'm going to these shows. It's like it's not the Olympia, but you draw that energy from the crowd. These people are watching you. And instead of feeling scared about it, feel excited, like feel like lit up from these people, like they're clapping for you, the judges are looking at you, a lot of time the judges are smiling at you, like they're watching you and they're there for you, so like be excited for that, you know, instead of feeling nervous at all.
How epic is this picture? I love these pictures.
So amazing. You need to
Look
get
at
that
both of you.
framed. You need to
I
get
know.
that framed.
I do need to. Yeah, you're so right. I actually have one like from I'm looking at like my like thing up here. It's in front of me. I have one from like my first pro win, and that one is just like that. I needs to go like next to that picture. I swear.
Aw.
Last week we were just talking, Ali, and I mentioned about the sort of experience that you had at last year's Olympia and how you were traveling and you didn't know what you were going to come home to. Can you just explain? Because I
Okay.
was trying to explain it and it just wasn't coming out right. So
Oh my gosh.
that's
So
everyone's story.
last year's Olympia, there were two, around the time of the Olympia, there were two hurricanes. Okay. So one hurricane came, and then 2 weeks later, for the exact time of the Olympia, the worst one came. And that one was like the one that kind of ripped right through right where I live, right? Like it was right here. And they actually had shut down the airports at that time that I was supposed to be flying out. So my husband and I had to scramble. We had two dogs. So we had to scramble to find pet sitter for our dogs. And then we had to scramble to find a place to leave from, like, cause we couldn't even leave because the airports were shut down. They canceled our flights. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Holy crap. Like, what do I do? And then we ended up, packing all of our stuff up and getting a flight out of Fort Lauderdale, which is about 3.5, almost 4 hours away from here. So we ended up getting a plane ticket out of Fort Lauderdale, packing all of our stuff like right away. Cause I was originally gonna be leaving like the next morning, I think, or something like that. And I had to pack everything up like really fast, pick everything up off the ground, because we're in a ground floor apartment. So we weren't sure if we were going to get flooded or like anything. And we ended up finding a pet sitter for our dogs like last minute. One of our friends, he like took them, bless him, because it was like kind of like, hey, we have these dogs and we need to put them somewhere. And if you have to evacuate, are you okay with that? And they were like, yeah, we're cool with it. So they just took our dogs, and yeah, we drove to Fort Lauderdale that night, and we left at like 8:00 a.m. the next day, or ahead of the storm. So it was just making landfall on the western part of Florida. And then we left from the eastern part of Florida right before it hit like the rest of the state. So it was a mess. And I'm really praying and hoping that that doesn't happen again this year. Like if I don't have to escape a hurricane, I'd be happy. But at least we know, like, okay, maybe we have to try to go from the other side of the state or something. So yeah,
I just feel like that builds you so much like mental resilience, because having to sort of find a coping mechanism or strategy to deal with the stress of like the unforeseen, and then actually go to the Olympia and getting the first freaking call out.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Insane.
I have to tell you, like, when that happened, I think when I like was taking off, I was like, oh my God, this is actually happening. Like taking off in the plane, I was like, holy crap, I'm actually going to the Olympia. And then when I got first class and I stepped off stage, I was like, what? I just went through to get here. Like, I'm like, okay, good things happening whenever there's a bunch of stress. And like, I think, yeah, like you said, mental resilience when you go through preps, I mean, we all kind of have to deal with that mental resilience and like developing that through prep, but it's how you even come through obstacles like that. That's just like, okay, I've faced almost like the worst that I could face, and I still got through it, you know? So
you have to find like your inner calm almost, because it's so out of your control. Like
yes.
you were obviously meant to get there and you got there and it was amazing, but I think it's so hard to, there'll be situations that many athletes probably can relate to, I guess, listening to your story here.
Yes.
And knowing that everything is going to be okay, like it's going to work out in the end, but like actually just getting there and trying not to self-sabotage as well, because your physique can change so much, obviously, through the stress. And I bet you were like, how did you cope with that and like almost let go of that so that it didn't then ruin your physique and your look?
I mean, I can't say that I didn't stress, because there was definitely stress. Can't say I didn't cry, because I definitely cried. And I mean, I was worried mostly about like my husband and my dogs, my house. I mean, yes, the Olympia is important, but I think, family obviously comes first. So I was worried. For one, I thought maybe he wasn't going to be able to come with me. So it was like, okay, well, if you don't get to come with me, I don't want to go, because like this is a moment that I share with you, but also like I don't know what's going to happen here. Like, is this, because at the time they were even saying they were calling for it to be like a Category 5 hurricane. So it was like, it was pretty intense. And I was like, well, I can't leave you in like a natural disaster and just go like, oh, I'm going to go to the Olympia. Like it's just not, I think that part was the hardest stress. And then once he was able to get the plane ticket, come with, I was like, okay, that's at least like taken care of. Now I don't have to leave you. You're my family. It was like, I'm leaving you and just going to the Olympia and being happy. But then, once everybody was taken care of, I think then there was a bigger weight lifted off my shoulders. And I'm like, okay, now what do we have to do to like get there? And as soon as we were like driving, I was like, you know what, whatever is going to happen is going to happen. You know, if we're going to make it, we're going to make it. It's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, then oh well, like it is what it is. And at the time too, I think we were flying out on like Tuesday or Monday, something like that. And Olympia, I wasn't getting on stage until Saturday. So at any point, like we were there early, we were like getting through all this stuff. So I'm like, we have time. So I think that, you know, it comes down to you just understanding like whatever is going to be out of your control is out of your control. There's nothing you can do about it. And the best way that you can kind of go about that and control your stress is really just think about like, what do you have to do to get to where you want to be? And is it possible? Is it feasible? And if it can happen, then, and just falling back on that trust, like if it's meant to be, then it will happen, you know, and there's really no reason to kind of like spiral and stress and do all this stuff outside of crying and stress and like little stress because that's what to do. But, you know, there's no point in like self-sabotaging at that point because, you know, it is what it is. Can't control it.
And it is, you're right though, it is always like whatever is meant to be is meant to be.
Yeah.
There's no like interfering with that because that's how it's meant to be.
Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't meant to go to the Olympia, then I wouldn't have done it. You know, it wouldn't have happened. And there will be another time for that. You know, this lifestyle, what we do here, like, again, it even goes for people pulling out of preps and stuff like that. Like if something comes up, the stage is always going to be there. That it's obviously been around for years. Like you're going to have another chance at some point. Like, you know, I don't feel like it was a fluke that I placed where I placed. So like that's, and obviously didn't know that at the time, but now knowing that, it's like, there will always be another chance, you know? So there's thinking about that too.
Before we look at Olympia 2025, I want to show you this video, Ally. I want you to talk me through this because this is a video from someone from the crowd facing you, Alice, and there's another competitor next to you. It's the announcement from third place, and they're about now third, and they're now second. But there's a moment where it really looks like that you are probably saying something to yourself, but mentally in your head. And you'll probably see it. So I won't play this video. I want you to walk me through this moment. So let me grab it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh no, I lost the video. Here we are. I think is it this one? Oh no, not this one. While I try to find it. Where is it?
The suspense.
I know. Okay, here it is. Okay, I got it. I got it. That's why I was looking in the background. I was like, oh shit, I never forgot to.
We do love our reaction videos, though, don't we?
I'm so happy. So this is awesome. I'm so happy.
Okay, so just remember, at this point, they're about to announce third place, and you'll see, you probably know this anyway because you lived it. Okay, here we go. So let me just go back so you can see this. So yeah, just to talk me through this moment then as you're waiting for the announcement.
Well, I mean, I'm always like trying to prepare myself for a little bit of a letdown, right? Like we all want to win those things. We all want to be first, but I have preparing myself for the letdown of like getting called for second place, especially because that had just happened to me the previous weekend. So I was like, okay, it's a very real possibility that like I might be second here. And then obviously I actually was quite shocked, to be quite honest. Like I was very shocked with this. I didn't expect like first at that moment.
You could see there, you took a deep breath.
Yeah.
And you can't close your eyes. And this is the moment where I think they may have said is second place. And that's when you took this deep breath, you close your eyes. Were you saying anything at that point? Or were you just mind free?
I mean, holy shit. I think that was like my first reaction. Like they called her for second and I had to kind of like replay what they had said because I wasn't sure if they had said for second or first. And so when I had like realized, okay, they called her for second, that means that I'm first. Like, wow. Okay. And at that point, yeah, my mind is blank. I didn't know how to kind of come back from that. Like a second, like, okay, wait, that's me. And then it kind of almost plays out like the rest of the year, right? Like, because that means I just qualified for the Olympia for this year. So now I'm thinking, oh my God, what does this mean? Like that, what my October is going to look like, what the rest of my year is going to look like. Any plans that I've already made, like, okay, how are those going to change? Like you kind of just start playing out these scenarios in your head and like, wow, like things are going to change here. And then also I'm going back, like I get to like I have another opportunity to like do better this time around, which is really exciting. I think that even like the first Olympia, you kind of go through it and you're like, it's new, it's a brand new experience, and there's like all these things that I get to try for the first time, and now I get to do it again knowing like what I'm going to be expecting, and like kind of, okay, this is what happened the last time and this is how I'm going to do it better. So there's just so many things that like, so many thoughts and so many things happened in like the span of 30 seconds. I feel like it was so fast.
Oh, I mean, look, okay, look, let's talk about Olympia 2025 because you could tell there, of course, you're walking out and you're trying to embrace that moment. I mean, look, we've seen in many videos a picture of Kerry when she got announced for Olympia qualification, and look, obviously those moments are so unique and special. Very few actually go through it. But let's talk about Olympia 25 because you then did a post and you reminded people that last year you came 11th, so you only just missed out by top 10. But as Marnie alluded to, you had some outside issues, which in the end you won't even know that coming in 11th place, which is an incredible placing. Top 10 you mentioned is kind of the goal for 2025. Is this something that you manifest on a regular basis? Is this something you visualize? What are you visualizing how your Olympia 2025 could go?
Oh my gosh. So this is such a weird question for me because I have to even go back to when I first started bodybuilding. I never visualized myself as a pro on the Olympia stage doing the things, like I never visualized that. I always just kind of take it day by day, time by time. Obviously, I have short-term and long-term goals for myself, but I've never like been like, oh, I'm going to be Miss Olympia one day. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Like I never visualized that for myself until more recently. It's been like, wow, I actually have a shot at like doing something really great here. Not, I don't want to say like winning Miss Olympia. I mean, obviously, like I can say I don't want to sell myself short in that, but like, I also have realistic goals for myself and goals that I'm like, I want to shoot for. Um, but what I visualize for the year is more so just like being present in everything and having fun, because I think that a lot of times people like miss a lot of things when they're really running towards those goals that they have set. So if I have this top 10 goal, or if I have a top 5 goal, or if I have top 3 goal or whatever, and then I just have my mind so hard set on that goal, then it's almost like when things like come up, or like let's say another hurricane, I gotta escape it or whatever, it almost kind of puts more pressure on yourself to like make sure that you're hitting those goals. And if you don't hit those goals for yourself, it's almost like you feel like you're letting yourself down, but you're not. It's just that the visualization, the manifestation and stuff like that I do for myself is more so just like I visualize myself having the best time with this and like improving from last year. That's pretty much it. Like, what can I do in these moments to improve and set myself up for the ultimate, like, best time ever outside of a placing, outside of like, those goals on stage. I mean, my goals for myself are always like, I want to improve my presentation. I mean, I even feel like I did that from earlier this year when I first started competing at like, and when I did Pittsburgh, every single show, I was like, I want to do this better. I want to do this better. Not, I want to shoot for this placing. I want to do this placing. It's like, I just want to be better in every sense of the word. And I mean, that's even a goal for Olympia this year is like, I want to be better than what I was just at Indy. I want to be better, of course, than last year's Olympia. But those are like the things that I kind of manifest or like visualize for myself more so than like a placing. It's like,
I do think that's really important. Um, I truly do, because if you hold yourself to like that placing so hard, like you've got to realize the amount of progress you've made and the amount of what you've put in. And if you're really married to that, as much as we like want it and we shoot for it, like I think it's still important to like really be able to step off stage and say, hey, look at this versus this. And like I did improve and I did do that with my presentation, and like and really taking all of those things in, instead of just being like, I didn't win, and then just being like,
Yeah.
well, that's it. All of that was a waste.
Right. Because
Yeah.
it's definitely not. Like none of this is a waste. None of what we do is a waste at all. Like
I
this
think
sport is all about
yeah.
the sport is all about self-improvement anyway. So no matter what, like as long as you in yourself feeling like you are improving yourself, that's what matters most, I
Yeah.
think. So that's what I try to hold on to every single time that I'm like coming up on these bigger things now, these bigger achievements and accomplishments and things. And like what's next is like just make sure that I'm doing something a little bit better every time. That's it.
Yeah, it's like your overarching goal should really be like the byproduct of the placings getting better over time. But again, it's a byproduct of the improvements that you then have made to yourself. Do you know what? I was just thinking there when you guys were talking. I watched a podcast. To be fair, it was probably like 2 years ago now, and Ian Valier made a really good point. He's like, I would rather like my placing drop at the Olympia if my actual package was better because I'm going to step off stage with more like sort of like that self accomplishment, that feeling that like you've improved, even if the placing doesn't match that. He's like, I'd rather not do better in placings, but feel like my package was worse. And then I look back at the photos and think that I didn't look good. I'm pretty
Yes.
sure, like, I've worded it differently, but he was alluding to that point, and I think that kind of echoes what you've just said.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking too. The pictures, like I look back
Yeah.
at my stage shots and I'm like, am I proud of this? Am I happy with this? And if I am, then I feel like I've already done better. I look at videos and I'm like, yes, that's what I'm happy with. That's what I'm excited about. That's what like fuels me to continue. Obviously, like we've talked about, yeah, the placing is awesome. And obviously the goal is to always do better. Like I'm not just going to show up on stage and just be like, yeah, cool. Like I did it. I want to obviously be in a top spot. I want to go for that, but that shouldn't be the only goal. Right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Well, look, one thing I'll actually, I'll try to bring something up in a moment, but this is a question I always ask when we do have an Olympian on the Bikini Insider, and this question goes to Kerry. Kerry knows what's coming. Look, I think I might know the answer to this, but what advice then would you give to somebody who is going to be competing at the Olympia for the very first time, apart from praying for great weather? Kerry is Kerry's currently the only UK bikini Olympian has
Yes.
done for 2025. So she's our soul. She's got a flag for UK for the bikini division. So what is your advice for Kerry, who's going to go to Olympia for the very first time?
Oh my gosh. Congratulations again. First, I should have said that right out the gate, but congratulations. This is really exciting. And I mean, I kind of going back to kind of what I've already said too, just be present, just have so much fun. And like, I go back to something that I've been thinking about a lot, even going into this year, where like with my first Olympia, I went into it with nothing to lose and everything to gain. You have everything to gain from that experience, that knowledge, the experience alone of like I said, experiencing all these things for the first time. Your first Olympian check-in, like checking in and doing like a pro check-ins for Olympia, like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. And then like, just even walking into the hotel for the first time. Yeah, yeah. Wait until you see the hotel. Like wait until you see like all of the work that they put into this. This isn't just like they go all out for this, Kerry. Like they go so all out for this. So like going into that, you just have to like remember to stay present in those moments and just soak it all in because that's your first time and you're never going to get another first time. Okay.
Like
So
legitimate goosebumps over my body. But
yeah.
I feel like that is really good advice. And I feel like a lot of people have kind of said that kind of thing, haven't they? And I feel like, well, how many weeks am I into prep now? Obviously, I'm doing some earlier shows, but like so far, like this has actually been like a really nice prep as well. And I'm trying to like just keep that like same vibe. Like I'm not like what's the word? Like I'm doing absolutely everything I need to do, but I'm still having fun. I'm still like doing things with like Mark, the kids, going out, like don't really feel like I'm on prep, I'm not really that far off. Like, and it's just being like a really nice, and I just want that whole thing just to continue, because like you say, like this is the first, and this feels like my first like prep again in a way, because it's like such a
It's
big.
magical. Like there's a magic in it somewhat, you know?
So yeah, thank you. It's nice to have that, like someone tell you that. It's just a good
Yeah.
reminder.
And it's just going to be amazing no matter what happens. Again, like you've won in a
Yeah.
sense, you know, and like this is monumentous for you, just having this experience. So yeah, just soak it in and just like document it, even like document every part of it just so you remember it. Take the pictures, take the videos, you know, write things down, like journal about it. I don't know, anything that just like capture this moment for you, because again, you're not going to get another first time, and you can compare it again because you'll go again, obviously. And you know, that next time you can compare it to this time and just like see how different it is for you, and just like in a good way, obviously different in a good way, but yeah, it's
I really
awesome.
appreciate that. Great advice.
Yes, of
Okay.
course.
Ali, I mean, do you have any other shows lined up before the Olympia, or is it shut down?
Well, for now it's like shut down. It would be really great to be able to qualify for next year. Again, like fingers crossed, that would be amazing. I do feel like, you know, as long none of the judges have said it, but I do feel like I need to put on a little bit of density, a little bit of size. I need a little bit longer of an off season than I got going into this year. So it would be really great, ideally, if I could qualify for next year and then kind of shut it down after the Olympia for a pretty decent improvement season, put on a little bit of size and kind of go back into it the following year, warm up shows for Olympia and everything. But I mean, I had my eye on a couple of them. I'm not really sure still. It's kind of like up in the air, but there's like Sasquatch and there's also San Antonio Pro. So I'm kind of like taking a look at those ones and kind of seeing which way I want to go. But those are my thoughts for sure. I don't really want to compete super close to the Olympia. I'd rather like, you know, get one in just as like a little warm up and then put all my sights on Olympia after that. And then potentially, I mean, we could still go for things after the Olympia too. Like there can still be, you know, some stuff into like October, November, but I'll kind of have to see like how I'm feeling after that and see, because I love me my holidays. I love my like, you know, all the stuff afterwards. So like I don't want to be, you know, worrying about reversing into that and, you know, all that. I'd rather just kind of have the Olympia be it, and then I'm good for a little bit of time.
I'm gonna be the one holidaying in Vegas. I just booked my flights 2 days ago. I sent through. Oh yeah, I'm so
I love
excited.
I
I'm just
love
gonna be
that.
like living vicariously through you guys and screaming my head off at prejudging and finals.
I love this. I finally get to meet you in
I
person.
know.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
That's gonna be
It's
so
crazy
cool.
because obviously, like, we've spoke to so many pros that have qualified for the Olympia, and like, I feel like now I get to see everyone in person, and oh, it's just going to be so special.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
awesome. Oh my gosh.
I mean,
I'm so happy you're coming.
me too.
Yes.
Me too.
the athlete meet and greet, that's the day before. Just
Yeah.
wait, sorry.
Yes.
No, sorry. You girls will be compete on the Saturday, right?
Yeah.
So the athletes, the meet and greet, is that the Thursday then? It's a Thursday, isn't
The
Yes.
it?
press conference is Thursday, isn't it?
Yes. I believe,
Um,
yeah, I believe they like the Meet the Olympians is on the Thursday evening, and then the
Yeah.
show actually starts Friday, and then we compete Saturday. So yes, I think that lines up perfectly.
that's the one where you'll be seeing Marnie running around to
Yeah.
everyone.
I'm so excited. I feel like I want to do this year a little bit different with that too, because I feel like last year I didn't really talk to a lot of other people. I was like, in a sense, I don't want to say being selfish, but like it was kind of a selfish moment where I was like kind of worried about myself. But I also don't feel like I got to like talk to a lot of other bikini pros, a lot of other people that were in there. And I just want to do that differently this year. See, so another thing, like it's okay to be selfish for yourself and like get that experience for yourself. And then see how I'm doing this year. I'm like, these are the things I want to do differently. I want to talk to more people. I want to like meet more people. Kerry, meet you in person. Like I want to meet all of these people that we see so much on Instagram, so much on pictures and everything. And then we don't actually like have these face-to-face conversations. So that's something I want to do differently this year for sure.
I think that's really good advice, even just for like the amateur competitors that might be listening as well, because I talk about stuff like this with my posing clients all the time of like mindset on show weekend and like what to do with yourself, especially for people that like maybe haven't competed before, or even if they are more seasoned and they're like really serious on show day, like because they want to focus and like they don't want anything to like burst their bubble. But I really think like you kind of just have to do what works for you, and it's okay to talk to people, but it's also okay to like take that time for yourself, which you did that last year. It was your first Olympia, so like you kind of test the waters a little bit, I guess, and that's where you build more experience from show to show, isn't it?
I think
Yes.
I think it helps me to like talk to people and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it helps like a little bit. I'm always like a talky person, to be fair, or dancing around
Can't
us.
shut us up.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it like helps to like lower my own cortisol and like to make
Yeah.
people who are nervous feel better. I always find that someone will always thank me after a show for like just talking to them because it made them less like
Mm.
nervous and less in themselves. So yeah,
I
I want
love
to
that.
be like that. I want to be like that as well.
True. I totally agree with that too. It helps me like talk to other people. Not so much like sometimes not me like initiating the conversation, but I feel like it would help, hear that conversation from other people and then like be able to just like get out of your own head for a second because we're all so similar too.
Yeah.
And it's so weird. Like we're all like from different walks of life, but you would be so surprised at how similar we all are.
Yeah.
Well, very excited. We're about 15 weeks out until Olympia. So, roll Las Vegas. Ali, thank you so much for joining us, especially after only a few days where you took the win at the Indy. Massive congratulations again. 34 of the girls in that category, and for you to be returning to the Olympia for the second year in a row. I mean, yeah, that's what everyone always wants, to win your ticket the first time and then having a back-to-back experience. So many congratulations. I wish you the very best of luck for
Thank you.
Vegas this year.
Thank you guys so much. Again, thank you for having me. Seriously, it really is just so exciting to be a part of these things. And obviously, I've been watching you guys. You've been coming up. I've like seen so many things on Instagram. So like, I'm so excited that I got to be a part of this and just that I got to talk to you guys. And I can't wait to see you in October.
Yeah.
Carrie, Marnie, Suki, thank you so much for everything.
No worries.
Thanks,
You take
girl.
care.
See you in
Yes.
October.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love
Wow.
it.
That
Good
was good
vibes.
advice there. Again, that was some good
Mhm.
advice there.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be great speaking to um the girls who will be qualifying to Olympia and saying, like for herself, visualizing not about the result, it's about her being present on the day and the experience, and then using that as the the advice for going to go to Olympia and everything else. So yeah, it's quality speaking to the girls, which is why we do this, why we did the whole Bikini Excited.
Yeah.
Hopefully, people take plenty away from it. Look, let's talk about this weekend coming because I got the lineup for the Portugal show,
Mm.
and I know a lot. There's gonna be a lot of eyes on the on this weekend. Obviously, we've got the UK show. I'm going to bring up in the moment, the MK Classic. But let's look at this lineup. Obviously, nowhere near the 35 girls we see at the Indy Pro, but we do see a lot of names that jump out, having previously competed at the M Pro Classic. Talk to me about the names we should be paying attention to. Do we all agree with the front runners for this show?
Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
I think so. Yeah. Lisa
Lisa.
Reese is back.
Yeah, Lisa.
How many shows has she done so far?
A
Like she
lot.
qualified months ago.
Yeah, a lot this year, isn't it? Like I mean, she pretty much did the first shows of the season
Yeah.
Yeah,
back
but
in.
I feel like this is a place where like it's the same as Ivy. If you look at her, she's done like a lot of shows. And I feel like these people are like just quite consistent, like
Mm,
physiques with how they are all year round. And like I actually see like I don't know how to word this. Bikini as kind of you should be able to do that.
hmm
In my
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean.
I just think like Ashley and like it shouldn't be one extreme to the other that the prep beats you down so hard that you can't do a string of shows.
Mm,
My opinion. That's like at
My
at a
physique gets
level.
worse.
Yeah, but like there's so many different ways and trialing and
Course.
trialing of how to manage that. And there is a way, and a lot of it comes from, I believe, and as I've experienced from like off seasons and
Mm,
they're done and how much it beats you down throughout a hard contest prep to how long you can then keep going after. Like you look at Ashley's prep and probably some of these girls, and I bet you they're not like deathly preps and
yeah.
whatnot, and then their bodies, they're then able to eat comfortably to 2,500 probably calories and just maintain that through shows. So it's kind of easy to go,
Mm.
okay, like let's just put a foot on the gas for a week, pull a pound off and jump on stage. It's a
I think,
conversation I actually had with Meg, to be fair, about like myself, and being able to do that. And I feel like that's why like, I'm 2 kilos away now, like 9 weeks out.
which
And if
is
I
mad.
what we did in off season and
Mm,
how I approached off season, and it didn't feel like a heavy task to do because it was just my lifestyle, and it makes it easier once you nail that like reverse, because then food's just high and you're just chilling really. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Good
Could be
luck,
I
why
Kirsty.
we do it like this.
Yeah, so excited for Kirsty.
Uh-huh,
Obviously, give
definitely.
her a shout out.
See,
Yeah, honestly, I
see.
just want to see her in that first call out again. I have no doubt she will be.
I messaged her because she put a check-in photo on in her blue bikini, and I was like, please wear the blue.
You love a blue, don't you,
I,
Mars?
I just feel like blonde with blue suit. Oh, Kerry, we need to discuss that actually.
Yeah.
We'll have a bikini update for Kerry.
Well, look,
Wow.
I know Kirsty mentioned that she should love to be top five again, and I mean, look at my lineup. I do see the opportunity
I
to
agree.
make that top three. I think it's a fantastic chance. Top five or
I
top
agree.
four, obviously, Lisa Ivy will be the main two. Before we talk about the Kerry's bikini color saga, we spoke about this last week. I want to throw something to you girls out. I don't know if you saw this, but one of the media outlets posted this up last week, and then it kind of did the rounds, and a few other outlets spoke about it as well. And they spoke. There was the whole point was about the Olympia qualification process, and
Oh,
what you may have seen was the headline for the post was, should the Olympia move to invite only? And some people are saying yes, it should be invite only. Others who are high roles within bodybuilding saying absolutely not. I shared my thoughts on it, saying absolutely not. The moment it becomes invitational, you take away that the dream
yeah,
of competitive earning
Yeah.
their way to the Olympia
Yeah.
rather than go through an application process. Yes, they work for the Arnolds, and that's for them, but for Olympia should be different. I mean, what I know what your answer is going to be, but did you see that? What was your
I
thoughts?
did. Yeah, I saw it. I think similar to what you've just said there, personally, I think like, if someone wins a pro show, it's like you've won the show, but you've won your Olympia qualification. So it's just like it feels like there's so much weight on that first place. And I just feel like if you remove that, then it almost becomes this, I suppose, in the athlete's mind, like, you're almost like jumping through hoops or jumping over multiple hurdles to be like, oh, I hope I get the invite this year, even if you've won one or two pro shows. When really in the past, obviously, because I know we had like the point system and that was a big thing at one point, and I don't know, it's really difficult. I see why it keeps getting brought up because obviously the volume of competitors and stuff, like how many girls are there now for bikini?
We're at 55 now, right?
Yes.
But that to me is fair. Like it's fair game. You've won a pro show.
Yeah. And
So
like there's no other way of doing it. You can't even do, in my opinion, I don't know, like um, like tiered shows. So like who's
mm,
if there's two shows in a weekend and one's got an Olympia qualification and one hasn't, like
I
yeah,
think,
which one are you
yeah,
gonna go to? Because I know where I'm gonna go.
yeah,
I mean, one, I definitely disagree about the invite. Absolutely. And if you win a show that's got Olympic qualification, you have earned your ticket there. Now, I guess the competition was more about the number of competitors. We know the 55 could hit up 80, really. unless Ashley Cole wants to do the rest of the shows this year, then maybe Mexico. Well, I mean, there is part of my idea. I'd like point system where there might be like there's those where it's like automatic Olympic qualifications, those where there's more points are for certain
Okay.
shows, and therefore it's like, yeah, we see the girls already. The girls are doing multiple shows who are always placing the top five, and if they're doing that, they're going to accumulate the points to go do the Olympia. And of course, with that as well, you get more of the girls competing on a regular basis. Yes, of course, you've got your main shows, New York, Pittsburgh, which are automatic ones. You may have 20 of those shows, to be fair, including some shows in Europe and Asia. It doesn't just have to be American shows. And then there might be other ones where it's like we've seen from the number of competitors that those shows are clearly maybe not as popular as other ones. Do they become like not Olympic qualifications, but you've got points, and those people are maybe just targeting those ones? It's a it's
Yeah, yeah.
it's we know bikini is always growing, and we're interested to find out how many girls are going to be there at Olympia. I know when I did the interview with Dan Solomon, he said, "Look, if that's my biggest issue, that we're going to have too many people on stage, then so be it. I think I can live with that headache of having too many competitors." And yeah, it's
think it's really difficult because I understand from an athlete's standpoint how difficult it would be, waiting in line when there's 60 other girls. So I get that because I know like Ashley will like talk about being an Olympia blocker and like, we need someone there who is going to do that because otherwise the list would just be never ending. But I also see from like the Olympia business standpoint that like more athletes there makes the show more exciting. There's more people flying in to watch their favorite pro. Like,
More money.
I just think it gives a much better ranking system of where athletes fit in the sport as well. Whereas, like, if you were to compare that to the Arnold, for example, I think it's really nice that we have two different like big shows that one is you win, you're in, and the other one is like you have to be selected. But again, like the Arnold lineup is always typically a lot smaller, and I just feel like not that that doesn't create as much excitement, it does, but I feel like that's where the Olympia is so different because, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like it just when you've got more people there, then the placings kind of mean more because there's more people to compare with each other.
Yeah.
and you would
I don't
think
know if
as
I make
well.
that sense.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, Kerry, like when you go compete at Olympia, I mean, how many people do you think back home will be buying the pay-per-view because they want to see Kerry Sexton on stage? I mean, all your clients will be, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So I mean, with each person, I mean, yeah, it might cost the Olympia this amount of money to send that person over to compete, but with that, it's probably another 20, 30
Yeah.
people buying the pay-per-view at $60 or whatever it's going to be. I mean, you've quadrupled your return on bringing on paying for the athlete to go and
Yeah,
compete at the Olympia. So,
that's
you
true.
know, pay-per-view buys are attached to people who are
Yeah,
competing.
that's so true.
Yeah. But yeah,
Mm.
Harry, bikini color. What's the update?
We had a full-on FaceTime convo about this the other day.
I'm
Come on,
I'm
share
just
it.
basically like my thought process is like I want the dark green still. Like I feel like that has to be just a staple for this season. Um, but I'm thinking about going like the bright green color. I'm
Woo!
thinking about it, or I'm thinking about a dark blue. So it's going to be either one of them. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what decision I end up making. But for now, I've kind of put it on the back burner. My bikini sponsor has told me she doesn't need to know until like the end of July, I think it was, or something. So yeah, and I'm not going to tell what color I'm going to choose for the Olympia. I'm not. But I do think I'll be stepping on stage a different color. Yeah, so yeah, there's just a few little options. But I am thinking about that green color, but I am thinking about the blue color. So it's yeah, one
It's
of the
hard because like Kerry was trying suits on, and I think she looks great in blue. But my argument, and people can maybe let us know in the comments what they think. My suggestion and thoughts were everybody knows Kerry for wearing green. It's kind of like her signature look, right? And so at the Olympia, wearing a brighter shade of green is kind of like you're elevating that signature look, and you're going to walk out and the lights are those Olympia lights are going to hit you, and everything's going to pop on the 4K video, and it's just going to be like boom, there's Kerry because she's in green and we know it's her. That was my thought process.
Which
So
I do like and I do agree with. So yeah, it's such a hard one because I want to like try all the color, but then I want to also
yeah.
want to just come out with a different color, but that's like such a like risque thing to
Yeah.
do at the Olympia as well, isn't it? But yeah, I'm properly excited for it though. Like even thinking about it, obviously we've got the first like few shows. But yeah, it's wild, isn't it? Like it's not that far. Like I've got it up on my laptop every single day, and like yesterday we hit like 99 days, and I was like, oh my God, today is obviously 98 days, and I'm like, wow, like I've been waiting for it to get to like that 100 mark, and now it's yeah, so excited.
I just want to look back quickly. I got two videos. The Flex Weekend Pro that took place. There was no pro show for the bikini, but I do want to bring up obviously just a couple of the pro card winners. Did you go see by chance see any of it? So
I
this
did
is
actually.
this is the pro card winner for bikini. Um,
Nice.
Yeah.
Pistachio, I guess that's how you pronounce it. She'll let us play out. And I think she's all, I saw in the bio, natural competitor, done a few different other federations, and I think this may have been her first pro qualifier of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just see the like the potential. Look at the glute shot as well. Like that's really good.
So yes, many congratulations to
Yeah,
her.
massive.
And the next one I'm going to bring up is going to have to be the Fit Model overall winner. Why is this not playing? Is it a video or picture? Oh, here you are. Perfect. So yeah, let's play this out. This is Patricia. Patricia is the is she from Hungary? I want to say, I think so. Can't be 100% sure. But yeah, she's the newest European Fit Model IFBB Pro. Um, Thoughts again?
Straight away, I'm like, great set of glutes.
Yeah, I looked at that. Yeah, really thought that. They're full, aren't they? Really
Yeah, yeah,
full, really nice, but like still like condition. I think, yeah, I still feel like what we always say, it's like it's gonna be one of them once all the pros and stuff come around, isn't it? Like
yeah,
it
yeah,
is gonna be full glutes, and it is people are gonna be under muscled for this category still.
yeah, I think so. And especially when you do, and I'm not making any hints, so don't pull anything from this because I know what you like. But when you see some of the IFBB bikini pros come down into Fit Model Pro League, obviously pro bikini athletes do typically have more muscle density and development and whatever. So it's going to be really interesting to see like some of the newer pros who maybe don't quite have that same level of muscle standing next to the former bikini pros.
Yeah.
Um, because yeah, like as we all know, placings really a lot of the time are determined by the lineup and who you stood next to. So that might make certain people look more muscular or not muscular enough, and I think it's gonna change things. So
I
yeah,
really
that's my prediction.
agree.
Definitely. Well, look, this weekend we've got the Two Roses Bat is up and running. It's the MK Coaching Classic. Is that the full name of it? Yes.
Okay, classic,
Really
yeah.
competitive. So yeah, I mean, pro qualifier is only 2 weeks after.
Mm,
So we expect to
All
see,
going into that, I'm excited.
or you got your girls, Marnie. So yeah, that's the you got to be tested out on on tested shows, haven't you? So that's gonna be exciting to watch. Portugal, Kirsty's over there. Weekend after is the Euro Muscle. Scarlett makes her pro debut. But
yeah.
Yes, she does, doesn't she?
That's it.
Super excited for that. I actually really am. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I think I'm excited for any UK athlete that's like going for it, you know?
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of a lull at the moment. Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think
Yeah,
like
yeah.
pros. Yeah, like the UK pros, there isn't. I mean, Kirsty's obviously kind of going for it right now, but
About I don't know if like Cassie Hunter competes quite often, like each year. So I don't know if she's competing this year. That would be interesting to find that out.
Yeah, I
Uh,
saw a post she did the other day, and I was like, I think
yes.
it was a pro card that she'd been renewing each year, and just to reflect it back to when she won a pro
Yeah.
status. But yeah, I'm still waiting for that period where, like I said, we see the UK bikini pros, like when we see a pro show,
Well, we've
there's
got
two, three, four. We
my
see.
pro is competing and she's UK.
I'm
Kiki.
sorry.
Kiki.
Oh yeah.
She lives in Japan. She's UK, born and bred UK. She just lives in Japan. That's it. So
What's she competing?
she's competing this year. We're doing oh my God, I should know this. We're doing Japan, Hawaii. Yeah, we've got like pro shows coming up for her. End of the year, like October, November, like vibes. So yeah, she's someone we should be following, I guess.
yeah.
Will she be pushing for Olympia qualification?
Yeah. She's natural. She's natural. So we want to go down that route as well, but it's one of them, like I think with the naturals, if I understand correctly, which I believe I do, that you can't do a natural show and qualify for the Olympia. There's only certain ones that you can. So
Yeah, so
that's
here on that
that's
note,
our goal, obviously, to qualify
Every
for the
naturals.
Olympia. But this is her first pro season. So it's just about getting a first call out. And like, I'm not putting pressure on her for any of that. She has amazing genetics, amazing structure. She really does. And she won her pro card at the Olympia, like amateur
that's cool.
Olympia. Yeah, which is epic. So yeah, I'm not putting like massive pressure on her, but yeah, we want to get first call outs and all that exciting stuff, you know?
How can I not even mention the two girls that I pose? Like, what am I doing? My brain's just not working. Gabs is making her pro debut this year, and
Well
so is
then.
Kirsty Bentley. So there you go. There's two UK pros.
What? I'm sure I saw what shows Kirsty doing. Is she doing July show?
She's competing after the Olympia because she's going to come out
Okay.
with me. So yeah, we've kind
Oh
of
yeah, I
discussed.
remember her saying.
Yeah, we've
We
kind of
have a few
discussed
then.
like she's thinking of doing the Hurricane Pro, which is like the week after the Olympia,
Yeah.
maybe. And then Gabs is actually going to be going over to Asia because there are some natural pro shows.
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
again, they
with
don't have a qualification. It's
yeah,
some
but what they've done is I literally just had a team call with my girls about this because
then
obviously they're trying to expand the natural route for pros, and so what they've done is the Ben Weeder is now a show that you have to qualify for.
Yeah.
So if you win a natural pro show, I think you qualify for the Ben Weeder, and then I
then
think
really gets
win
you
the Ben
to
Weeder, then you get to the Olympia. That's how it works, which I think is cool. Like they've got a separate like championships.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true. So yeah, but there is a lot of natural shows going
Mm,
on up the Asia way, to be fair.
yeah,
You
there
get
is.
Yeah. No, I see. Yeah, see quite with a lot of them. Okay, cool. So we got we
Little
got
list forming.
there we go.
yeah.
So Gabby, Kirsty, Kiki, and hopefully there are some other UK pro bikini competitors, and maybe even someone who wins pro status at the
Mm.
upcoming Trained by JP International. I think that's the name of the show. Pro
Yeah.
qualified in a couple of weeks. Brilliant. Okay, so that's a wrap. That's another wrap for Bikini Insider. And wait, any other shows happening this weekend apart from Portugal? Any American shows? It seems quite quiet.
Um,
Don't think there is. What I've seen, the only lives I've been seeing is the Portugal one. So I think it is
That's
quite
all I've
quiet.
really been seeing, to be fair. But I'm not
Look
sure.
at that. You have like 3 or 4 shows in America all on the same weekend, and the weekend comes after, and there's no shows.
Yeah.
How boring. It's okay. We'll make it work for next week. All right, that's a wrap. I've already done my spill on my compete fit mod of a Starfish show, so I won't do it again. But yeah, that's a wrap. See you guys next week.